Good morning, everyone. Coffee with Court is on the road. We are going to introduce you to the owner of Between Friends Coffee, make some coffee, and of course tell you the forecast. All that is coming up.
Plus, many Central Georgians will get out the vote today as November elections happen. We'll take a closer look at what you'll see on the ballot and what you need to know before you head to the polls.
And some health workers will now have a little longer to go ahead and get a COVID-19 vaccine. The new deadline one Central Georgia health system now has.
Well, good morning, everyone. You are looking live over downtown Macon. Time's now 6:31 on this Tuesday, November 2nd. I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm Wanye Reese. We're going to go ahead and start off with a check of your forecast. And as you saw, Courtney, she is not in the studio this morning. She is having a latte of fun out there in Houston County this morning as she takes her Coffee with Court segment on the road.
So she's live from Between Friends Coffee off Highway 96 near the corner of Milledgeville and Warner Robins with a very special guest this morning. So introduce us. Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning, Caitlin and Wanye. Yes, thank you so much. I have the owner of Between Friends Coffee, Victoria, here with me. She woke up, as I say, dark and early to come meet us here, got us a nice hot cup of coffee. And so, first of all, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. Yes. Also, Gracie, she loved your jokes. So just wanted to say that. But just a quick question. So, you know, I do a Facebook Live every morning to gather with people and chat and have a cup of coffee, and your shop serves as that. So why do you enjoy owning a coffee shop so much and being able to see people come in and be able to kind of fellowship, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really love owning a coffee shop where I can make people's day better. Mm-hmm. So by handing over a fresh baked pastry or, you know, a warm coffee or tea or something like that, when I make someone else's day better, that makes my day better. So.
Right, absolutely. And y'all have so many resources in here. People can leave a free cup of coffee for somebody, all kinds of stuff. So y'all got it all going on. You have to come visit this place. Thank you, Victoria. We're going to be making a cup of coffee a little later in the show, so we'll catch up with you in a little bit.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're going to give you the forecast quickly as well for all of you getting ready to head out the door. It's cold out there. Temperatures are in the 40s to start the day, so be sure you're bundled up. Victoria had the right idea. She had her sweater on this morning. You should probably do the same. But as we go through the day today, we're going to see a lot of sunshine again. It's going to be beautiful. Temperatures are going to climb into the low 70s, and we'll have another very fall-like day. Now, another cold morning tomorrow in the 40s before an even colder afternoon. I'm going to tell you why we're going to be so chilly. Talk about a couple of pattern changes on the way, actually, as we go through this week. All those details are coming up in my full forecast. And of course, we're going to make a cup of coffee a little bit after 6:30 this morning, so be sure you're with us for that. All those things are coming up a little later in the show.
Looking forward to all of it. Thank you, Courtney. Well, the day is finally here for the 2021 November election. So in less than 30 minutes now, polls across Central Georgia will open and voters will start casting their ballots to decide several races.
That includes choosing top city leaders and voting on different sales tax options. Before you get out and vote, two main things to remember are to bring a valid ID and make sure you know your polling location. You can check that online through the My Voter page on the Georgia Secretary of State's website. You can also call your county's Board of Registrar's office to find where you're supposed to vote. Now, polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. this evening. Now,
in Warner Robins, you'll vote on your next city leader. Current Mayor Randy Toms is running for a third term and faces challengers LaRonda Patrick and Stephen Boyer. That's not the only mayor's race on the ballot either. Dublin voters will decide who will be the next mayor of the Emerald City. Former Mayor Phil Best retired earlier this year. In Fort Valley, voters will choose who fills Mayor Barbara Williams' seat after she announced in August that she would now run for re-election.
A couple other items up for a vote. In Peach County, you'll decide whether to approve a transportation splosh to fund road and highway projects. And in Wilcox County, voters will choose whether to continue an education splosh to help fund school projects.
Now, for a more detailed list of all the races across Central Georgia, including the Lost Vote in Macon bid, just head on over to our website. Right now on 13WMAZ.com, you can see what's on the ballot in your city or county. Just type in "What to Know 2021 Central Georgia Elections" right in the search bar, and it will be the first story that pops up.
Also tonight, 13WMAZ will track results as they come in. So I want you to join us tonight at 5 and 6 for live team coverage. We'll hear from candidates ahead of results, and later at 10 and 11 when the winners are declared. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at election news from across the Peach State. One of the biggest races happening today is the one for mayors of Georgia's capital city.
There are 14 candidates running for the top spot in Atlanta, which includes a familiar face in the race. Former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed is running again. He served 2 terms from 2010 to 2018. Now, the race doesn't include current Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. She announced back in May that she would not seek re-election.
For a candidate to win outright, they would need to get at least 50% plus one vote in the race today. If that doesn't happen, there will be a runoff on November the 30th.
And in another election-related headline, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger now recounts events following the 2021 presidential election. He says then President Donald Trump was threatening him when he mentioned wanting to find enough votes to overturn his loss in Georgia. The Secretary of State writes about the call in his new book, Integrity Counts, which releases today.
Georgia's top election leader also talks about Stacey Abrams. He says she unfairly attacked Georgia's election system when she refused to concede in her gubernatorial loss in 2018. In other news from around the state, 10 days of the jury selection process in the Ahmaud Arbery case ends with still no jury chosen. Right now, attorneys need to qualify 4 more potential jurors to start final selection. According to our station out of Jacksonville, Florida, attorneys qualified 60 so far, but needed to reach 64. Then they'll narrow down that number to 12 jurors and 4 alternates.
Now, last night, the judge and attorney said that they expect jury selection to wrap up tomorrow, with opening statements starting Thursday or Friday. Father and son Greg and Travis McMichael, along with William Roddy Bryan, face murder charges in connection to Arbery's 2020 shooting death. They have pleaded not guilty. Court continues at 8:30 this morning. Turning to the latest now in coronavirus news, some health workers in Central Georgia now have another month to roll up their sleeves for a COVID-19 vaccine.
Atrium Health Navison has a new deadline for employees to get vaccinated. The health system originally announced in July it would require all employees to be fully vaccinated by this past Sunday, October the 31st. Now that's pushed back to the end of this month, November the 30th.
In a statement, Atrium Health Navison says, quote, many of our teammates shared their desire to become fully compliant, but needed a little more time. The system last reported employee vaccination data on October 15th.
Those numbers show 580 employees had not gotten any shot yet. That's about 6.5% of their nearly 9,000 workers. More than 4,300 employees were partially vaccinated, about more than 4,000 fully vaccinated. Atrium Health Navison says they expect less than 1% of their staff will not be in compliance with the vaccine requirement by the new deadline.
That would be less than 100 people. In other news this morning, trash collection in Macon Bibb will pick up with a new service provider in the new year. Dublin company Ryland Environmental will take over solid waste services for all of Macon Bibb starting in January, which includes trash, recycling, yard, and bulk waste. But before the new year rolls around, county leaders want to make the transition as smooth as possible for you. So today, Ryland and the Solid Waste Department will hold a demonstration to show you how recycling will work. That's at 10:30 this morning. You can watch it live on the county's Facebook page. Last week, they held a demonstration on yard and bulk waste.
Also today, extra money could be on its way to several nonprofits here in Bibb County. Tonight, county commissioners are set to take a final vote on how they'll spend some COVID-19 relief funds. Last week, it passed through the committee of the whole to put $100,000 towards Meals on Wheels, over $16,000 to Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Heart of Georgia, and $30,000 to Crisis Line and Safe House. Commission plans to meet this evening at 6. Now let's catch you up on America's favorite pastime as the Atlanta Braves look to close out the World Series tonight.
Now, if the team wins tonight, the Braves will take home the hardware for the first time in more than 25 years.
Wow.
So tonight, Atlanta doesn't have home field advantage. The series does go back to Texas. So Game 6 and, if necessary, Game 7 will happen on the Houston Astros turf.
Atlanta is up 3 games to 2. The last time they won a World Series title was back 1995. That was my year. Game 6 kicks off just after 8 tonight. And the time is now 6:39 a.m. Courtney, I know you're fired up about this game.
Yes, so fired up. I am so excited. Hopefully we can take the win tonight, or I'm going to be a little bit too anxious. It's not going to be good for me. But what is good for me? A nice hot cup of coffee. Of course, you notice I'm not in the studio this morning. We are taking Coffee with Court on the road, and this morning we're at Between Friends Coffee off of Highway 96 in Lake Joy in Warner Robins. One of my Coffee with Court Facebook Live viewers, Sharon Carroll, actually recommended this to me, and I can confirm the coffee is fantastic. And if you are about to head out the door this morning, you probably want to have that cup of coffee hot. It is cold out there this morning. And by the way, you are going to want to stick with us around 6:49. We're going to be making a cup of coffee, and my personal favorite is going to be all of the fall vibes is the kind of coffee we're making this morning. It's going to be delicious, I'm sure. All right, everyone, let's talk about what's going on out there. Temperatures are in the 40s to start the day, so be sure that you have the jacket with you. If you're heading out to the bus stop, all of of you students, probably a good idea to bundle up with a hat or a scarf just because you'll be standing out there for a little while. You want to stay nice and bundled up. Now, we are going to get colder, and that's going to be thanks not to the front that's to our north that you can see is bringing some rain to parts of the southeast. It's actually going to be thanks to the area of high pressure behind it. So that front is going to sink to the south. It's going to be very weak. In fact, you're not even going to notice it moving through today. But what you will notice is tomorrow, when that area of high pressure positions itself off to the northeast, what is that going to do? It's going to create a wedge. We've talked about those before. What that does is take all the cold air off the Appalachian Mountains. In fact, the air is so cold up there that there's even some wintry precip going on up in parts of the Carolinas and Tennessee this morning. So the air is very cold there, and that's going to spill into our forecast as we head into the next couple of days. So tomorrow, temperatures will only be in the mid 60s. It's going to be a little more cloudy tomorrow, so we'll still see sunshine, but that's not going to be the main factor of our forecast. Maybe a little drizzly in some spots. That sometimes is associated when wedges build into the forecast, and we're going to stay chilly. Now, that cold air from the wedge is only going to be reinforced, and with that, we take you into the upper levels of the atmosphere. What we're going to have is what we call a trough in the meteorology world. It's a deep dive of the jet stream, and what that's going to do is pull in all that cold Canadian Arctic air that's only going to bring cooler air to the forecast. In fact, some of the coldest air that we are going to experience so far this fall season. That's going to be on the way for Saturday and Sunday. That trough is going to dig on Friday, and then that cold air will settle in just in time for the weekend. Unfortunately, we're also going to bring in a little bit of a rain chance on top of that cool air, so it's going to be cold and a little rainy on Thursday and Friday. Maybe a little drizzly is probably the better word for that. Not going to be a widespread rain chance, but if you get caught under some of that rain, it's going to be a chilly rain. So what you need to know over the next couple of days, today is going to be our warmest day in the 70s, and then we are going to have mornings in the 30s and 40s through the weekend. That's what your 7-day is going to show you. Dry and seasonable today. It'll be beautiful. Enjoy it. Then we only get colder with temperatures in the 50s and 60s for afternoon high temperatures, with that small rain chance for Thursday and Friday. We're waking up in the upper 30s and low 40s through the weekend, but staying dry with highs in the low 60s for Saturday and Sunday. We're back on the other side of the break.